We're rounding into the week of launch coming up for Battlefield 6. I promise this week is going to get incredibly busy. It's going to be insane, but I'm super stoked to share everything that we have here with you for launch and dive in together. But our final bit of what you could say is like downtime, I wanted to take a look at something that we haven't really covered a whole ton and has some big implications for how things will work with one particular pillar of Battlefield 6 upcoming. So as we go along, drop your thoughts, drop a like if you guys enjoy the video or find it at all insightful, and make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with all things Battlefield 6 and other games this fall. This is seriously the busiest fall we've ever had here on the channel, so if you'd like to join us on that lofty goal of hitting 700,000 subscribers sometime to round out 2025, I'd love to have you join the community. But anyways, crazy week ahead. Would love to have you around, but let's get into it. So let's talk pillars of Battlefield 6. Coming along with the launch of Battlefield 6, you'll end up getting a campaign, 9 missions that have already been detailed, multiplayer, which comes along with 9 maps, a healthy number of weapons, though not any sort of franchise-leading number of them, your standard modes of Conquest, Breakthrough, Rush, and all that kind of stuff, but you also have those segmented combat zones now of maps that also feature modes like Domination, King of the Hill, and the like, things for smaller scale play as well, capturing some gameplay potential for those that might want to just kind of scale down a little bit. I know that might be counterintuitive to what you think of with Battlefield, but to kind of capture a little bit of everything for everyone. But then your third and final pillar of Battlefield 6 in the launch offering is that of Portal. Now, we talked about this and broke it down last week at some point here when we ended up getting the chance to share some footage and talk about some details here as soon as the embargo for that lifted. But as a brief little recap here, Portal is going to be a tool that you have to build out your own custom experiences. You can do this on web browsers of PC, on your phone, tablet. David Sirlin did say that he thinks that it should work if you want to utilize the browsers within consoles as well, though of course that's not necessarily nearly as intuitive as what you'd see for a PC or a standard web browser on any of those 3 prior mentioned platforms. But Portal will end up utilizing spatial editing, where at launch creators can use the Godot open source dev tools to make changes and additions to existing Battlefield maps. You don't have full access to the Frostbite engine, naturally, but it is something that gives you that front-end action to customize existing experiences to however you see fit. You can transform, rotate, uniformly scale objects around the map, redraw combat zones, sectors, and HQs, along with combining other features to allow you to create never-before-seen experiences in Battlefield 6. Like, you can create horde modes, you can create a top-down 2D shooter if you want. There's a whole number of different things that you can create. With AI scripting, so that if you want to use bots, you can modify behavior for infill, weapon choices, behavioral commands, and all kinds of things like that. Not to mention, for experiences that are dubbed traditional, you get 100% one-to-one progression in terms of XP, whether that be your career or hardware XP, but also in those other like fully custom games, you'll also end up getting XP based on your playtime, something to balance it out so you don't have just like an XP farm or something like that you just get a million headshots or something. So this being the continuation of Portal from 2042, but upscaled quite a bit, it's one of those things that I look back and I kind of think, okay, that was a cool concept, and now looking at it in full, kind of seems like 2042 was almost the like beta testing for some of these features and what we saw coming to Battlefield 6, where this is now like, okay, we're comfortable with this, and what they're showing off kind of feels like that as well. But one of the big key parts about this is that we have the tool sets to edit existing experiences in Battlefield 6. But what if you wanted to create something entirely custom or have more experiences available for you? Well, according to data miner Temporal, he stated the files also hint at a Portal sandbox map. Now, this would be big because at the moment, again, we seemingly only have the options to build out these experiences from the existing 9 multiplayer maps. While we don't have full control over asset ports and things akin to that in Portal, like you can't bring in old map files from prior different games or different franchises altogether. A lot of custom modding projects bring over different like IP into a custom game. So like, let's just say you wanted to bring Halo into Battlefield 6 or something, like Master Chief into Battlefield 6. You can't do that with this, whereas maybe some other games would let you. But while we don't have full control over asset ports and things like that, you'd be, with a sandbox map, at least able to customize elements way more fully and build from the ground up in theory, which would allow for custom experiences like we saw perhaps with that Dust 2 remake from the footage they released for Portal last week. That, off the top of my head, I'm not sure if it was built out in an existing map that you could see off in the distance or anything like that, but it would allow you to create those elements for creating or replicating classic maps from different games or the Battlefield franchise and creating geo around those designs to how you see fit. So, would be really big if true. But interestingly, that's also not the only thing that we knew about that would be added to Portal sometime either at launch or shortly after launch. Because from the same mention that we'd have a base sandbox map to work with potentially, there was also another interesting element where it was mentioned that Battle Royale sectors would be added to Portal. In that same leak, Temporal mentions players can use 6 key points of interest from the Battle Royale map in Battlefield 6's Portal editor to create their own custom experiences: downtown, marina, golf club, tech campus, Area 22B, and military storage. So if we're basing this off the leaked Battle Royale map that we've seen in the past, downtown would probably be that area from between North and South Main Street, marina being marina, golf club being the golf resort, tech campus being an unnamed POI on the larger map, but associated with a point of interest like smaller area in that map that's not seen at the top level. Area 22B and military storage then would likely also be associated with Fort Linden. Now this, if true, means that content offering for Portal is going to get just a tad bigger and could open up a lot of potential for custom experiences, as that map, while segmented, sure, is much bigger than what you'd see in traditional Battlefield map experiences. Now this also seems like it would tie into the experiences for what we see with a number of things. Battle Royale, obviously, that being the large world, setting the stage for that game mode whenever that launches. Right now, rumored with Season 1 at some point, whether that's October 28th or if that's sometime in November or December, with those other 2 updates associated with Season 1, we don't quite know. But it also is something that looks like it could be a part of that gauntlet game mode that we've talked about before. With those kind of like closing the circle on everything in the Battlefield multiplayer experience then being available in Portal, it makes a ton of sense why, if you pull those elements in game modes, you'd also need to pull those assets and have those segments of the map customizable in Portal as well. It was even mentioned in Gauntlet leaks that it would be customizable via Portal, so utilizing the Battle Royale map, that just kind of cross-references and corroborates that even further. So Portal is looking to have a little bit more that we can end up playing around with in custom experiences compared to what we see in just the standard 9 multiplayer maps at launch. And of course, anything added after the fact will also be added to Portal as well. So those Season 1 maps of Blackwell Fields and Eastwood will also be available within Portal. I would imagine that Icelock Empire State would be as well, but with that being a limited time event map and something that goes away just as a thematic reskin, I don't know just yet if we can consider that a sort of guarantee for Portal if it will stick around in that sense. But I honestly think that'd be really cool, and giving the ability to players to create experiences around those limited time things that are only like seasonal or something like that. Now, the Portal team did mention their ambitions for after launch, with no specific details just yet given, but saying that they were going to be expanding the capabilities of transforming landscapes, mixing and matching assets, and adjusting lighting for future tool sets. So that could be something that all of what we just mentioned, of course, the Battle Royale map being introduced into Portal at launch is unlikely. It'll probably be whenever the Battle Royale experience launches itself, but that also could be when we see that sandbox mode coming as well. If they're introducing more possibilities for the capability of transforming landscapes, doing so from a blank canvas is probably one of the things that I would expect to be coming maybe post-launch. But anyways, just wanted to fill you guys in a little bit here on this because that was like the one little sliver of content we've yet to really cover and talk about. But again, for me, as somebody excited for Portal and the possibilities that it opens up for progression, custom gameplay experiences, I'm excited to see what this will lead to in regards to more playable areas. So I wanted to share that with you guys, but let me know your thoughts down below. Drop your thoughts. Do you want to see the Battle Royale map customizable within Portal? One final note, if I may chime in, actually, I'm very excited for this because, like, I mean, Warzone, you have to have a private match of like X amount of people to jump into. So to be able to take that massive landscape and just jump in is super cool. So I love that. So let me know your thoughts on that. Would you like to see that? Do you not care so much? Drop your thoughts. If you guys enjoyed the video, do me a favor and drop a like. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing running all things Battlefield 6 as we gear up for an incredibly busy next week and beyond. I'd love to have you in the community. For now, though, thanks so much for watching. Mine is an Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.